You've been working tirelessly helping locals and IDPs. So tell us a little about what humanitarian assistance and help you've been able to provide, and what are the challenges that people are facing on the ground right now?
Actually, from first day of the war, Ukrainian society and Ukrainian citizens are mobilized, and they started to help each other. They started work as volunteers, everyone from east of Ukraine, from west of Ukraine, doesn't matter from region, but everybody understood they should help each other and support each other. So it's maybe we have experience from our first revolution of Maidan, second revolution, the European Revolution on Maidan, and war in Donbass from 2014. And so it's everybody understood that we should help each other.
If Russia takes over Ukraine, they will just draft everybody and advance on the rest of Europe, just like they did in World War II. And if they have Ukrainians as part of their army, they will be unstoppable. So everybody who doesn't want World War III in Europe, in Northern America, and in the rest of the world has to understand it is in their best interest to stop Russia now. The sooner we stop it, the better the chances that we avoid the full-scale, full-blown World War III.
The last thing you want to tell somebody who's going through a lot is that you're very brave, but the fact is all of you are very brave, and the world is supporting and standing in solidarity with what's happening in Ukraine. And we can only hope and pray that the effects and impact of war will not hit the women and children, as we've seen the way it has hit. We've seen it in Syria, we've seen it in Afghanistan, we've seen it in Iraq, we've seen what devastation does.
Actually, a lot of women with children, when I asked them, where you going? Do you have some friends in the Europe? Do you have families or some people? Where you living? A lot of people answer me this, oh, we just going and we will ask volunteers. We will find a job. I want to say thank you very much, or all citizens of Poland who help us, and they have excellent logistic rules, skills, and logistic way when you come to Poland, and the same with Romania. But sometimes it's difficult, especially women with children. Many women with children left, but now they ask us how we can back, or Europe is very difficult for us, or we don't have good skills to live in this country, or we don't know this language, or it's difficult.
Do you think this is going to end anytime soon? And just how are all of you surviving this?
I met this invasion, the war began, this iteration of war began 8 years ago. And for those who are not familiar with Eastern European history, Russia has been invading Ukraine repeatedly over the last 300 years. 100 years ago, when the Russian Empire dissolved and Ukraine proclaimed its independence, Russia first acknowledged that independence and then invaded Ukraine and took over, and we ended up with having the Holodomor, which starved, basically. It was an artificial man-made famine that starved 8 million people. So when Russia invaded Georgia in 2008, it was obvious that we will be next, because it didn't meet any resistance from the international community. So it was the reintroduction of realpolitik. Who's the strongest, who's the bully, he gets to dictate the rules. They didn't get any pushback, and it was just the question of time when they would invade us.
Can you share what you've seen, what's happening? We're hearing reports of women getting raped, being forced into human trafficking, prostitution. Are you aware of these incidents, and what can the international community do to help right now?
we don't have enough. It's the same for Ukrainian side and other countryside. We don't have enough information about be careful with your passport, or about or trafficking human being, or about prostitution, or something. It's guides of border. I asked them, can you give me some information about trafficking human being? It's something. It's on Romania border and Moldova border and Poland border. They answer me, oh, you can open your internet and read about this situation, about this issue. Come on, guys, a lot of people from villages without internet or without online, or they have a lot of children, they have a lot
The
of
last thing they want to do is go online and
yes,
read.
absolutely. A lot of people cannot understand how they can see this information, look at this information in the online,